Well, hello and welcome or welcome back to Read Becca. It is time for a tag for this Tag Tuesday. I've let the backlog get massive, so I need to start prioritizing working away at tags more frequently than I have been. So I picked out one for today that is a nice, easy, nosy one that I don't have to get books out for. So this is going to be the It Isn't That Bad tag from Melinda Edaweb of Stories, and she tagged me in the original tag a couple of months ago, and I have not gotten to it, but this is a great one, talking all about our habits as readers, or really our bad habits, potentially. So number one is, do you dog ear your books? As a practice, no. However, if I don't have my tabs on hand, I do allow myself to just give a tiny little bend in the bottom corner. So kind of maybe a reverse dog ear. I don't know what you would call it, but just a very small one because it's less noticeable on the bottom, I think. And that way I can remember if there's a quote on the page that I wanted to actually tab, and then I come back in and put the tabs in. Flatten out the dog ear. Only on my own books, not on anyone else's or library books ever. Yeah, and that's, I think, the only case. If I'm just needing to remember what page I'm on and don't have a bookmark, I will just remember the page. Number two is, do you annotate your books? No, I do not annotate my books. If I need to take notes on a book, I just fold a piece of paper and put it in the book and carry that along as I'm reading it. Number three, do you roll covers or break spines when you read? I'm not overly precious about my books, even the ones that are like special editions. So I don't go out of my way to avoid it if the spines do break, but I don't actively roll covers or break spines intentionally at all. I try to maintain my books as best I can without going out of my way. Number four, do you listen to something while you read? This may surprise you, but I don't listen to music all that often, really. I go through little spurts where I get hooked on something and then go down a rabbit hole of listening to that. Usually that's on YouTube though. So I don't have any music streaming services or anything like that. So that supplants my YouTube watching if I'm doing it. And also, I very rarely actually do that while I'm reading, because then I would have something around that's playing YouTube, and that's very distracting. So no, I generally don't. Number five, do you read in the bathroom? I don't spend that long in the bathroom that I need to read in there for any reason. And I don't have like kids I'm trying to escape. The cats sometimes, but they also require that they be in the bathroom with me very often. So that's a whole other thing. And I think the next question answers the sort of second half of, do you read in the water, such as in the bathtub, pool, etc.? And that answer is a yes. So I do absolutely read in the bathtub. Only my owned books. I do not take library books or borrowed books in there at all, or risk damaging them with the water or humidity of the bathroom. Number seven is, do you DNF? So I do DNF. However, I'm sure if you've been around here, you will notice I don't DNF all that often. I'm very good at understanding my own taste. So I rarely grab things that are totally out of taste for me. I have very, very wide open and wide ranging tastes. So there is not a lot that I'm just going to DNF because it's not the right type of thing. I can find something that I would like in any genre. And that probably is also why I DNF very little, because even if it's a book that's not amazing, I can always find something to like in it most of the time. So I do DNF, but pretty rarely. Number eight, do you ever read ahead or skip to the end of the book? Not intentionally, or not for the intent of reading the end. I can't think of any times where I skim over things, and I find it weird when people talk about like skipping certain perspectives, things like that. So I will tell you, there's one case where I check the pages at the end very often to tell how long the book is. And I have very deeply spoiled myself once because of that. Usually I'm great at not even looking at the words on the page, just seeking out what the page number is. For Women Talking, fantastic book. I absolutely love it. And being spoiled didn't really bother me at all. But the whole point of the book is that it's these women sitting in a barn talking and trying to decide what they're going to do as their next step. And they're part of a very isolated community. They don't know how to read or write. So they're going to take a vote about what they do at the end of this talk. You know that right up front. And they're going to use symbols to indicate what they vote. So you can see where this is going. The final page of the book is just the symbol that was their vote. So I completely spoiled what the outcome of their conversation was, but the conversation is the whole point of the book. So it really didn't bother me at all. Not that I'm overly bothered by spoilers anyway. Number 10, do you own more books than bookshelf space? No. So I have a lot of books. I have around 1,500 books, and I think right now I'm pretty close to where I'm comfortable with. I could double stack a lot more than I do, and obviously I have things spaced out on this shelf specifically so I can add more things from the authors that are on this shelf, for instance. And there goes Rue. So I could have much more double stacking if I needed to, but I prefer not to. So I think 1,500 is about the limit that I've got, and I specifically built out shelves to fill them, to have bookshelves all throughout my house when I bought myself a house. That was the number one priority. So yeah, no, I have not overflowed quite yet. And the bonus question is, do you ever take a book without leaving a book at a little free library? As Melinda said in her own tag, this is not required at all. Little free libraries are not transactional. That's the whole point of them. So I think I have, but I very definitely put in more books than I take out. By a lot, by like exponentially a lot. I probably donate 100-ish books per year to little free libraries at this point. I stopped even bothering with half-price books because the return you get is not good. So it was more worthwhile just to put it in a little free library for the most part. So yeah, I donate a lot, and I very rarely take out. But sometimes I'm not donating anything and I'm just checking the status of the little free library to see if I need to bring some stuff to it, and I spy something that I want to take, and I just do, because that's what they're there for. So that is it for the tag. So who am I going to tag? I think a lot of people have done this. So I know Randy Ray was, I think, off sick, and fortunately is back now, and it seems doing improved. So I will tag Randy in this. I will tag actual Spinster, because I haven't seen her do this. And I think I will tag Nikki's books, because I don't think I have seen Nikki do this either. So I'll tag all of them. And I'm also going to tag Sam from Thoughts on Tomes, because she recently has talked about the fact that she was feeling like tags have sort of gone away on BookTube, which is not my personal experience at all. So I'm going to start tagging her in everything so that she sees that there are a lot of tags out there and that she is welcomed to do them. So you should also tag Sam from Thoughts on Tomes if you do tags upcoming. So I think that is all for me today. Thank you all so very much for watching.